The National Employment Policy points out the need for decent opportunities to support socio-economic development. This hasn't, however, been implemented in light of business informality, shallow trade union penetration, for example, despite extra-primary provisions in the labor policy. In a multi-stakeholder engagement to advance labor rights, Siatini reckons labor equity as areas such as agriculture, manufacturing are highly critical, and a reconsideration of the investment code.
Some do not have contracts. Some it is word by mouth. Social security is not being remitted. People are failing to actually address their ways of conducting business in a human rights perspective. They need to bring both of those two together. And you find that our investment code has given so much preference to the foreign investors. But if properly utilized or used, there's a need to see that it is binding to protect our workers and not see to it that they are actually gaining, they are able to gain from investors coming on ground, but even the communities, that they are not violated.
The country's complicated social protection framework and the lapse in would-be crucial aspects of equitable employment have in turn been depicted as societal. According to the National Organization of Trade Unions, local employers are simply demolishing the labor force, most so with policy amendments. In a similar attribute, COFTU's John Okecho undermines the head for trade unions among employers.
The Employment Act now, which is being amended, it's a very good thing to amend but you don't tamper with the repealing the law. You see, once you repeal the law, there are certain things that you affect. So instead of repealing the judication, let them reform it in the way it can work out. Because the labor officers, that is the arm of government, as far as labor is concerned. Now, when you reduce it to nothing, it affects the mandate of government in making sure that they promote labor and they also supervise labor.
We have now looked at the solution, and I want to assure you, within 1 year, NSSF money will double. Because many employers were getting money and not meeting. People end on the way, money end on the way, you don't know where. So for us, we have identified all those issues. And of course, NSSF signed a memorandum of understanding even with us.
With about 90% of the country's labor force entrenched in the informal economy, Voices for Labor Executive Director Robin Akagoye attributes weak labor administration and ineffectiveness of industrial court to address labor disputes. The Federation of Uganda Employers, meanwhile, points out business sustainability as a key factor for labor equity.
Whereas platform work is being regulated in other countries, here it is not regulated. And you're going to be stuck with your definition of an employee when you bring a platform worker who is braving a safe border within the ambit of protection. Because when you look at the commercial agreements, for example, okay, those agreements that exist between a safe border rider and a safe border company, most of the clauses there make those motorists to seem like they're actual employees. But when there's a fundamental labor rights violation, the company is going to say, we are just partners, you're not an employee.
The uncertainty of work. Just like employees get jobs and then they exit, we have also seen employers who actually have left. They have completely left Uganda. And so meaning that they now don't risk the part of giving an employee a contract that is open-ended or a contract that is 5-year term or 6-year term. And that is also now increasingly leading to a situation where I give a fixed term contract that is only for 3 months.
The Ministry of Gender and Labor has expressed faith in the National Action Plan for Business and Human Rights to enforce decent employment and services. This has further been highlighted by criticism of the unfavorable investment incentive.
Tax waivers. What we need is a well-defined structure as far as Ministry of Labor is concerned. All over the world, Ministry of Labor goes with you can have public service, Minister of Labor, Public Service, and Social Security, because these are just one. Now, this is a structure which will help government, first of all, to plan for labor, to put in system that can even monitor the labor market in the country, a number of employment that is there, and also creation of jobs.
Collectively, NOTU has called for restructuring of the labor space administration to deepen labor rights. Tibenkana, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.